Dan, good to see you today. So how do you think, tell us about the warning from North Korea telling international embassies to evacuate their staff. I mean, it sounds pretty dire. What do you make of it?
Well, the intention behind this has been clear from the start of this crisis. North Korea's whole intention is to show its willingness, preparedness to defend itself should war be launched upon it. Of course, every year we have these massive provocations of joint US and South Korean war games, exercises right on the borders of North Korea. This year the provocations were stepped up to actually simulate a nuclear missile attack on North Korea. B-2 bombers were used for the first time along with B-52s and F-22 bombers. So this massive military provocation from the US, the North Korea feels rightly threatened. It's seen what's happened to Iraq, to Libya and so on. It feels threatened. It knows it was on the overt, explicit hit list of the American government some years ago, and it needs to make very clear that it will not tolerate any kind of infringement of its sovereignty, any attack, and that this is what all of this is about, is to show that it's willing to defend itself.
Well, it's certainly making steps that some might assume to do so. Dan, just a moment here. We've been getting reports in the past few minutes of quite a large, 6+ magnitude earthquake near North Korea. Of course, it was just a couple of months ago that the North did another one of its underground nuclear bomb tests. Can you read anything into that, or is it just pure speculation?
Well, I think we should wait and see what happens. But of course, constantly, North Korea has this policy called the Army First policy, where it's constantly trying to develop its nuclear and its military resources to defend itself. I mean, again, like the lessons of Libya and Iraq were very clear. Saddam Hussein gave up his weapons program, and we saw what happened to Iraq as a result. Colonel Gaddafi gave up his weapons program, and we see what happened to Libya as a result. So they're constantly trying to upgrade their weapons in order to defend themselves. Of course, the US, one of the reasons for this constant annual provocation of these war games exercises is to keep tensions on the peninsula high, to justify the massive US military presence. It's one of the most militarized regions in the entire planet. And so this is one of the reasons they're always doing these provocations to justify.
But Dan, if I can jump in just for a moment here, I'm sorry, I'm just so low on time here. But here we have this bolstering of military forces, Pyongyang doing it, America rushing into the region, though. I mean, do you think, is there anything Washington can do to prevent a full-scale confrontation in case North Korea really is determined to take it to the extreme? Because it's anybody's guess at the moment.
Yeah, of course they can stop launching these all-out provocations. They can stop simulating nuclear strikes against North Korea on the border of North Korea. Very easy what they can do. The thing is, they would love to occupy North Korea. They would love to have troops right up on the border of China. And what stops them is every time they simulate these attacks, these invasions, they calculate that their losses would be in the magnitude of tens and tens of thousands of soldiers. So that's what's stopping them. What they would dearly love then, the US and its allies, would be for actually South Korea, for a inter-Korean war in which South Korea took all the conflict, took all the casualties. Now, for this reason, this is why the North is so determined to make clear that any attempt to provoke some kind of inter-Korean conflict on the part of the US and its allies the US would pay a heavy price for that.
Indeed. I mean, that's certainly the message we are getting out of Pyongyang at the moment. Dan Glazebrook, a political writer and journalist, joining us live here on RT. A great pleasure to see you today.
Likewise. Thank you.